His anointing is empowering. The kingdom of the Lord is within me, and He's calling me to the heavenly.
He's seated in heavenly places, just like heaven on earth, to be walking in His grace.
Our stuff back. Amen. So when it comes to Halloween as it was, does anybody know the beginnings of Halloween or the origins of Halloween? Amen. Well, Halloween was started by the Druids, the Celtic Druids, and the Druids were a Satan worshiping group, and they still are. Those that are still existing, they just call themselves Satan worshipers, the House of Satan or the Church of Satan, that's run by Aleister Crowley, I believe his name is. But the Church of Satan still celebrates Halloween the way it was celebrated in the past. Now Halloween, as it is, like tonight, is their biggest holiday of the year. Wow. And so even right now, so you've got these churches preparing right now to do their sacrifices and do everything they do because they believe that these spirits are working the greatest right now. And so they're ready to go out and do all the devilment that they do. The Celtics, going back to the ancient origins of Halloween, the Celtics used, or the pagan Celtics used this as their day to worship. What they realized, or what they thought, is that as the season was changing and the sun began to go down sooner, they believed that the god, their god, and that's demigod, who was the ruler of the winter or the colder months, had more power than the ruler of the sun, okay? So because this demigod had more power, more authority, they took this day, which would have been the last day of their year. The new year for them would have started on November 1st. So this would be New Year's Eve, so to speak, for them. So they took this day as the day that they would go out and try to stay protected from those entities that were out to get them. So what they would do is this was the day that they would have to make all of their sacrifices to this winter god so that they would be protected through the winter. And they would dress up and disguise themselves. They call it guising. They would disguise themselves as different things in order to not be the one who was given as a sacrifice. So they would disguise thinking that the spirits wouldn't know who they were and they wouldn't be chosen to be sacrificed. And so it's all about darkness. It's all about death. Even today, you have so many people say, oh, it's harmless, I let my kids go out, but you're letting them go to houses that are decorated with caskets in front, with RIP headstones in front, with skeletons in front. Everything is about death. Yeah. And, people want to say you're just fanatical, you're a fanatic. I'm a fanatic for Jesus. Yes, you call me that all day long. That's absolutely fine. But it's not about being a fanatic. It's about making sure that you're not allowing your children to partake in things that are actually dark. You can dress it up the way you want to dress it up, but dark is dark. Amen? Amen. Some people have their children dressing up as Satan. Yeah. The cute little red devil with it. That's not Satan. That's not what Satan looks like. But it's all about death. It's all about darkness. The Word of God tells us to shun even the appearance of evil. Wow. We don't want to take part in any of that. Well, we certainly don't want to take part in things that have to do with darkness and death and disguising. God is a God of light. And as a result, we're children of the light. So we don't need to do anything that's in the dark. What happens in the dark? Anything that's trying to be hidden, right? Mm-hmm. Anything, people rob things more at night because they want to be masked by the darkness. More mayhem goes on at night than any other time. And that's why things are done at night. Now, when it comes to trick-or-treating, does anyone know about trick-or-treating? Why the kids run up and say trick-or-treat? Because what they would do, like anything else, people find a way to take advantage of the situation. So you already had the ones disguising themselves because they didn't, and disguising their children because they didn't want to be sacrificed. Well, you had a group that saw that this is an opportunity to go out and get some food because it was during a time they didn't have a whole lot. So they would go door to door, oftentimes sending their children, but more often than not it was as a family. And they would go door to door and say trick-or-treat and tell these people that they would pray for them. That they would pray for them and pray for their protection and pray for their households. And then the spirits that were out to get them, they'd be more protected from those spirits. Wow. So if they did that, That's the treat. The people would then give them food, and they would give them sugary items and pastries and all kinds of things to, in turn, as payment to pray for them and to pray for their families and to pray for their households. If they didn't give them things, then they could also put a spell on them or trick them. So it was a trick or treat. It's just ancient, what do you call it? Extortion. Ancient extortion is all that was. And it was another gimmick. Another thing that happened is that the church that we know of, when I say the church, it was the Catholic Church, and Catholic is church as a whole, not just Roman Catholic, but the church as a whole, they ended up getting involved. And what they did was they started All Saints Day the next day on November 1st. So they would call it Halloween. Okay, that's where we get the term Halloween. They just call it Halloween, Hallow Evening, Hallo, and then you've got E''N. Okay, so Halloween. That's why it became Halloween. But they got involved because they started selling candles to burn and all of these different things as a way of making money. So the church is not innocent of it either. And then by the church getting involved that way, little by little, we allowed our children to get involved. Oh, it's just candy. It's just fun. It's just games. Well, it's just fun and games, then they wouldn't be dressed up as demons, as vampires, as witches. That was the thing to do as children. A lot of times you see so many little girls dressed up as witches. And the Lord tells us in his word to stay away from witchcraft. That he hates, he said he despises witchcraft. So we've got that he despises witchcraft. We've got that we are children of the light. We know that God is light and we shouldn't do things in the dark. We know that we need to shun even the appearance of evil. And then for those of you, if you want to jot it down, you don't have to turn to in your word if you don't want to. But 1 John 3:8 says to destroy the works of the devil, that Christ came to destroy the works of the devil. And we keep it alive every single year. Yeah. And the people who are being complacent, and not just complacent, but really, really enjoying the holiday celebrations. You know, really enjoying this Day of the Dead is all it is. They're enjoying it. So it's not appreciating Christ for what he did, for giving his life to destroy the works of the devil. We're becoming a part of keeping that alive. And again, he hates that witchcraft, and we don't want that. If you also just reference Corinthians, it's 1 Corinthians 10, and you can read verses 14 to 31, but the verse I want to stick on is verse 23. Verse 23, and it says, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything is constructive. And if you can just keep that at the forefront of your mind. Yes, it may be that your household is not into witchcraft and not into devilment, but he said everything's permissible, but it's not beneficial. How does it benefit you? How does it benefit our children to dress up as these demons and these imps and go around scary? You know, it's about being scary. Everything is haunting and being frightened. When does God frighten you? When does God want you scared? He says, fear not in so many different passages. Not to fear. He takes fear away from us. So we want to leave that with the pagans. Don't give them fuel for the fire. Don't let them rally or glory in the fact that tonight when they do all of their devilment, they have so many children doing it with them. So we have harvest night. And we had testimonies just a little while ago that had to do with harvest. You know, you reap what you sow. They've sown and they've sown and they've sown and they've reaped the harvest, these testimonies that we heard about tonight. So we're here to celebrate the harvest tonight. Celebrate what the Lord has done for all of us tonight. Amen? And to teach our children, yes, plant those seeds of goodness. Plant those seeds of love. Plant those seeds of life. And you're going to get that big harvest right back. Amen?
Amen.